Morning everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Greenside Up. Just fetching some compost in out of the kitchen. It's been in there for a couple of weeks, just keeping it warm, ready for sowing seeds. And actually we're not going to sow some seeds just yet, I'm going to pot on some onions. But I'll just show you this lot in here. So I've got a nice selection of onions in there, reds and whites, and some shallots as well. And I've got various other plants and stuff going. And that's my cosmos that I just sowed the other day. And that's all ripping up now. I love the way it erupts the compost. Brassicas there coming along, moving along past the water. This water's on the propagating bench just to keep it warm. I've got some multi-sown leeks there, and some more onions there. So this bench is full. Right, so we've got some of these onions off the bench there. And I've sieved some of this compost while we're off camera, because I'm sure you all know how to sieve compost. These plants here should have been moved on a couple of weeks ago, really. One reason or another, they haven't been. But anyway, I'll get them potted on now. Now, this compost is warmed compost straight from the kitchen, as I say. So, you know, if you're wanting to get going now, you can do. I mean, I know the weather's cold and has been for quite some time, but there's no reason why you can't warm compost. Use what's at your disposal to warm stuff up for you to use. I mean, you saw that water on the propagating bench there. That's so that water will be warmed and kept warm at the temperature that will suit the plants that's in there. And yeah, I've started very early this year, but that's because I need to grow so many plants, and I've got to have things grown in shifts almost. So I sort of stopped sowing when the propagator was kind of full. And now I need to move plants on. And these onions will go down the allotment this week. Move plants on and make room for the next batch of plants. So that's pretty much what I'm doing now. These will rest in the greenhouse here, just on the bench, on the side bench here for a few days, and then we'll go down to the allotments, as I say, and it can make room for more plants. Now, we've had pretty much cold weather for the last month, really. Some pretty awful weather, lots of ice, lots of snow, lots of frost. Hasn't been conducive for good gardening. But today, I noticed this morning when I was down in the polytunnel at the allotments, I could hear this dripping sound, and it was the polytunnel defrosting. And sure enough, when I come home, the current weather, it felt warm, but it was actually 1 degree. So not exactly balmy, but warming up nonetheless. And this weather was set for rain and wind. And temperatures are around anywhere between 5 and 10 degrees. That's the variance between night and day. And that's good, because it means I can move these plants on, get them out of the way, and get sowing some other things. Get the next shift of plants on. And we're in the season now that I like to call shuffle season. And for the next 3 months, I will be spending most of my time shuffling plants around from one location to another for various levels of protection. Now, I know I've started early here, and it may encourage others to start early, but unless you've got protection sorted out for where you're going to put these plants, I wouldn't really bother. It can be very disheartening to lose all your plants all of a sudden. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So think about how you're going to protect plants, and I'll be showing you how I protect mine and how I look after things as best I can. All these things I've sort of learned over the years, with a lot of disasters and failures in between. So I'll just get on and pot on the rest of these onions, and we'll come back and do something else. So I've potted on enough of those onions. They're Brunswick, they're a red onion, and it's one I haven't tried before, so I'm keen to see how they do. Just giving them a little bit of water. Don't want to drench them at this time of year, just enough to get them going. And say in a few days, later in this week, they'll go down the allotments because the weather is warming up. And it's good because it means it's good steady weather now for a good week. Still not brilliant, it's still only between 5 and 10 degrees, but it's enough to give me the kickstart I need to get plants moving on. I've got plants moving on under heat now here. You've seen that here. Plants are growing and plants are coming out of the soil, so I can get things going. So that's good. So this next week I'll be in the greenhouse quite a bit and doing a lot of sowing, a lot of potting on. I'll do some of these onions every day this week. I won't do them all in one hit because it's a matter of space. But I'll get them going and start dribbling them down to the allotments because I'm there most days. So anyway, in the meantime, the subscriber numbers are still going up, which is fantastic. Thank you all for coming over and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, big red buttons down there. It doesn't bite, nor do I. Just hit it and the bell next to it, and that way next time I post a video you won't miss it. So there's the stuff. It's almost like a legal disclaimer, isn't it, saying that? But there we go. So again, thank you all for coming over. A few weeks ago I did a draw when I got to 5,000 subscribers for a £50 free Amazon prize, and Lee Wazza won that. When I get to 7,500 there'll be another £50 Amazon prize. So there you go. I've given 2 away this year already, and there's 2 more to come, so that's that. Also of note for the future is the Builders Bucket Challenge. I'll put a link just up here now, and you can go and have a look at that. I hope you get involved in that. I'd love to see what you can all do with that. I'm sure there's going to be some amazing stuff coming through, and again I'll organise a prize for that. I'm not entirely sure what it'll be yet, but we'll organise a prize for that later in the year, and we'll organise as well between us all how we judge that and how we get on with it. So that's that as well. So there we go. So this last couple of days down the allotments I've been working on a bit of a wildlife project, and it's what I said I would do when I built the pond. I laid out an area for the pond, and I said at the end there will be a wildlife feature. That's nearly done. I should finish that tomorrow and film it, the finish of it, and then I'll be able to post it later this week. So I look forward to you seeing that and seeing your reaction to it, because I think it's quite fun. But anyway, it's a talking point if nothing more. So anyway, that's it for today. Look after yourselves, everyone, and please stay safe and look after your family as well, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care now. Ta-ra.